Okay, the topic of today is influence and a pragmatic exercise by which we may improve our ability to influence within the organization that you exist or an external organization. If you're client-facing, BD, sales, customer success, you need to influence an external organization. We're going to create what is called an influence map. Let's go take a look at this whiteboard and I'll walk you through it. Okay. I recommend that you do this in Microsoft Excel because it's something you're going to want to update over time or reuse. Also, you can create a framework and give it to your direct reports or colleagues. It will be helpful. So here is how this works. We're going to think about all of the players in the organization that we engage with regularly. And you're going to think about this in light of whatever initiative you have going on right now. And there are three buckets of this map that we want to fill out. The first is kind of foundational. You've got the name of the player, JZ, RB, whatever, XYZ, decent name. You've got the title. And you have, lastly, this is less clear, the role they play. And what I mean by that is specific to the initiative that you are engaging with them on. What do they mean to you? What role do they typically play in the drama, the story of what you've got going on? So for instance, the chief revenue officer of an organization, if it's outside of your four walls and it's an organization you're trying to influence, might be your champion. So salespeople have the roles of like champion, economic buyer, that's the person that signs the check, end user, the person that you're going to be providing the most benefit to. Within your organization, you might think of the CFO as the person who holds all the purse strings and is everything related to money. Or you might think of the CFO as the CEO whisperer. What is it that this person plays for you? If you're reporting to the CFO, they might be your boss, your most important account. Only you know what that role is, the role that they play. Just write that out in plain language. Lastly, you want to go into relationship strength. Now, you can make this as simple as plus minus blank, or something like this. At one end of the spectrum, you get a +2, an evangelist, somebody that amplifies your message proactively. +1, a supporter, an ally. They consistently will go to bat with you because you typically tend to be aligned in your goals and objectives and you've got strong rapport, etc. They won't do it to the largest extent or proactively, but they will support you. 0 is we've got no relationship, or they don't know who I am, or it's inconsistent, they're unreliable. In the middle, neutral. -1, let's say derailer or antagonist or cynical. They just tend to make things more difficult, slow things down, just make it harder, question everything. You really always have to kind of pull them over the fence. And then -2 would be nemesis, detractor, foil. They're constantly going to be a roadblock, the opposite of your evangelist. They're going to proactively aim to thwart whatever your agenda is. However it is that you want to make this -2, +2, or just plus minus relationship strength. Got it? All right, that's the first kind of bucket of or continent on the influence map. The next part goes like this. What they want. Now, This can be business goals and objectives. It could be personal. So it could be they want recognition. They want peace and quiet. They just want things to be as easy as possible. They just want to hit this kind of revenue growth. In the context of what it is that their role is that they need to make happen. Next, barriers or threats. Threats. So if they don't have it, why not? What are the barriers? What are the things that tend to keep them from getting that thing that they want, or are keeping them between the goal that they have and where they are today? Or if they already have it, what can threaten the maintaining of that thing that's important to them? And lastly, how can I help? Influence is a two-way street. It's got to be mutually beneficial. If you are not helping them, it's unlikely they're going to make the time to help you and expend the energy to do so. It's atypical. That's the second continent, which is, I need to create influence. How can I give so that in the third, I can get, which looks like this, what I want from them, or what they can provide, or how they can help. Okay? Whatever your goal or objective is, business, personal, professional, whatever it is, how is it that this person can help out? Lastly, what language do they speak? And I don't mean that literally, obviously, I mean it metaphorically. There tend to be like three languages that people speak. One is logic or ROI. Does this make sense? If I put in, what am I going to get out? Two is emotion or narrative. So they're motivated by guilt, shame, fear, or excitement, opportunity, and these great narratives are what that stimulate those emotions, or what they respond to. That's the language they speak. Or lastly, pragmatism. How's the sausage made? What are we going to do with the time we spend together? Is this possible, this thing? And so process is the language you speak to them. So either logic and ROI, emotion, narrative, and pragmatism, process. Okay. You take time and you map out the people in your organization or the people in the external organization, the role that they play, the strength of your relationship, what it is that they want, the barriers, how you can help, and then what it is that you want in the language they speak. You have a very pragmatic map of the world that you reside in. The second thing to surface, which will naturally surface, is where are there gaps? Where do I just not know the language this person speaks because I don't have the strength of the relationship, or they're antagonistic, and I know the language that they speak, but I know what they want and I can help them get it and turn them from an antagonist into neutral or supportive. So what you want to do is you're going to look at this after you've laid it out, and you're going to see where you have gaps in the map, and it's not all going to be complete. Where you have gaps in your influence, your complete clarity. Maybe it is the map is completely filled out. You know the answers to all these things, but your ability to influence is low because the relationship strength is low, or they already have what they want. There are no threats that you can help with. Whatever is the answer, this will give you clarity on the different players and your gaps and your ability to influence at large. Thirdly, your role then is to take from this insight and create a plan by which you can consistently improve your ability to influence. Because clarity and the insights that clarity provides are only useful if you then turn it into action and do something with it. Do something new that you haven't done before. So with that, I hope this is helpful to you, as helpful as it has been for me. All of this typically sits in your head, these different pieces of the map. But the value is in getting it out and seeing it. And when you do put it out on paper, and it doesn't have to take more than 10 or 15 minutes, or you could spend as much of an hour as an hour. However much time, when you do this, you're going to find immense value, and you're going to say, why didn't I do this sooner? I knew all these things, but now that it's read before me, I have newer insight into things that I could be doing, should be doing, haven't done, and can do to improve my ability to influence. I hope this was helpful. Go forth, leverage this, and become a more effective executive. Cheers.